Welcome to the Culture Podcast.
I am excited to be here, and thank you for inviting me to be here.
No, absolutely. And we've been for 2025, as you know, our theme for the year is all about elevate. And when we talk about elevate, we talk about going up. We know that to elevate means you're going into a new dimension, looking at new possibilities. Fundamentally, it means that what can you do today that will take you to a new height, new position, new place tomorrow. And of course, one of the key things when we think about elevation, for anybody that's ever climbed a mountain or went on a hike, climbed some stairs, somewhere along the journey, you experience pain.
I'm telling you, man.
And pain can be one of two things. It either means you going to turn back down, or you find yourself moving beyond the pain. And really, I think today we're going to be talking about what does it mean while you're elevating to go beyond the pain.
Yeah.
So maybe just your initial reaction or something that you think about when you think about going beyond the pain.
I think when I think about going beyond the pain is not looking at your circumstances,
Yeah.
that you're in, and choosing joy even though the pain is there. Because remember the pain that that I'm going through. I'm talking from a personal experience now. It's not just going to benefit me now, but it's definitely going to benefit my generation that still needs to come. So that is what it means to me. So yeah.
And that's very important. How do you ensure that the pain is not defined by your circumstances or by your past?
Exactly.
Because many times it's your past or your circumstances that causes a lot of pain, and therefore you choose not to wanting to go up or wanting to move forward.
Yeah.
Do you maybe want to just share a little bit about what are some of the things that you've been learning on the journey of, the life journey that you're on,
Sure.
where you had to push through the pain?
Sure. So Marlon, you know where I come from. You know my story.
Yeah.
You know my background. You know what I've been through. I think we just had a conversation. So just moving beyond that pain. Marlon, sometimes I feel that I get emotional about it, because the journey has definitely not been one of the easiest journeys to be on, and I need to give credit where credit is due, and that is to God.
Yes.
For taking me out of a place of stagnation, and moving me into a place of just flourishing as an individual. And I see it today in my daily life. When it comes to my family, I love being honest. I'm real. And I love sharing real life experiences. And again, up till this day, I'm still the only one in my family that took up an opportunity to further my study, that took up an opportunity to get out of an environment that wasn't good for me as an individual. Because, sometimes environments can also take you back to
Yes.
where you were. And then once you sit in that and you sit in that pain, then this is your reality. So where I've learned that this journey of pain being there is definitely getting out of the environments that causes these kind of things.
Yeah.
So
And that's such a good lesson. Don't let your past or your environments
define who you are.
define who you are. Define, although it's places of pain. And I think for many people, they don't realize is when you go through pain,
Yeah.
it's always like, oh, why me? You start feeling sorry for yourself. You start, and there's this concept called phantom pain. And phantom pain, maybe just for those that's listening, is when someone loses a limb. What happened is, even though the limb is not there anymore, sometimes they still feel the pain. And many times, things that has now moved on, it's the past, you still allow that phantom pain in your life. You still give it
Yeah.
the control and the power
Yeah.
to control your emotions, to control what you see, to control, and that is something that a lot of people struggle with.
And Marlon, sometimes we love being there because the pity party because we love being in that space.
Yes.
The pain is not even there, but we love going back because we love that feeling it gives you, of not being able to grow the individual that you
Yeah.
actually are, So I have to say this. I think it was about 3 months ago when I had that experience because I needed to move out of the place that I was in because I needed a new environment
Yeah.
and a different environment for me. And I started feeling sorry for myself, and I'm like, oh, I'm going back to where I was. I'm going to go back to where I used to live. I'm going to go back to my family. I'm going to go back to this environment. And I was there for at least, I can tell you, for 3 months. And it didn't help me as an individual. And not just help me, but it didn't help the people around me. Because again, whatever this is always something that I've learned, that whatever you feel or put out in the atmosphere, everyone around you feels it. So when you start making the changes of wanting to be different and not depending on the pain of your past, but depending on what is awaiting you to elevate, things around you change with the
Changes.
individuals that's
Sure.
also, around you and in your space. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of the things, your greatest revelation comes through pain. That because pain defines who you can become.
Yeah.
And I think many times people think that pain are the very thing that is going to destroy you, but pain is there to strengthen you. If you think of someone climbing this mountain top, and now they're halfway, and many times we've seen the biggest challenges for a lot of people is they give up. When now you feel a little bit of pain in your legs, so now you decide, you know what, I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
And in life, we know life is hard. It brings a lot of hardships towards us. But when we are able to push through that pain, very much like you said earlier, when you begin to realize that even though I go through the pain, I know who the source of my strength is, which is God.
Definitely.
And when I push through that, it allows me to elevate. Not only does it allow me to elevate, but it begins to paint a picture. And this is where the revelation comes in. It presents a picture for those around me, around what is possible, because all of a sudden, your height is now the base for those around you. For the children, for others in your community.
Yeah.
Because now they will say, if Suzanne can do this,
Definitely.
then
I can also
I
do
can
it.
also do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Marlon, the journey of feeling pain and going through pain. I'm a mother, as you know, Marlon, of 3 amazing boys. And recently I've been having some difficulties with my eldest son. I mean, obviously I was feeling, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? How can I have worked so hard, to change the narrative when it comes to my family, to not go back into the cycle that I was in, and I'm telling you, Marlon, that process, it broke me. It felt like I can't go on, I can't move on. But again, I could not allow them to see that this is breaking me as their mother, because I still needed to show up. I still needed to make sure that my other kids, even my eldest son that's going through this period in his life, he still needs to see that above the pain, his mother is still choosing to rise up above it. And she's still choosing the joy, and she's still choosing to love me regardless, And I think that is something that we, sometimes things happens in our lives, and then we feel like, hey, this person doesn't deserve, the kind of respect that I need to give them. They don't deserve the kind of love that I need to give them because of the pain that you're putting me through. But we need to choose to still love. We need to choose to still forgive. We need to choose to still accept, even though we're going through that season or period of pain. So it's been a learning journey for me, Marlon. It's not been one of the easiest, but again, as I say, what's happening now, it's only yet for something greater that needs to happen and transpire. The pain doesn't come just because it comes, but it comes. They speak about refinery. When a diamond diamond is to be refined. It goes through a lot of things, you know, to be refined. And I feel that I've been on that journey, you know, and sometimes the pain is here, but I still need to show up, you
Yeah.
know, and that is one of the things that I love by every single day. I always tell everyone that comes in contact with me, they will ask me, how are you doing? And I always say, above all else, I still choose joy.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, the thing about you use the word season, that pain is but for a season. If you choose to rise above it. And how do you find, you know, one of my favorite authors is a guy by the name of Paul. And Paul says, consider it pure joy when you go through all kinds of trials. Trials, we associate trials with pain.
Yeah.
Right? So when you go through hardships, when you go through trials, can you still consider it pure joy? In other words, are you able to find joy in the pain? Are you able to be strengthened in the pain? Are you able to still love
Yeah.
in the midst of the pain? Are you able to build your character through the pain? And I think it's a very important thing, even for you know, as we're talking about elevating, you know, how do you, because when you can push beyond the pain, that is where the opportunity comes. And you were using the word refining because pain does refine.
Yeah.
What pain does, pain is a refiner of possibilities. No one becomes a world-class athlete or sports person if they don't go through the pain.
Yeah.
What sets world-class athletes apart from ordinary athletes is the fact that they push to go beyond the pain. The fact that they were willing to say, you know what, and that even though it's hard, even though I have to sacrifice, even though while I'm having to train, everybody else is going out at night, but I choose to push beyond the pain.
Yeah.
And it's that refinement that means that sets you apart from being a world-class athlete
Yeah.
to someone that is just you know, running for fun. And I'm one of those that run for fun. Clearly I was not going to become a world-class athlete.
Very soon, I hope.
Yes, I hope so too. Whenever they bring my kind of athletics back, then it's fine. That's of course running with a spoon and an egg.
Oh
I'm
my
very good at
goodness,
that. I'm very
Marlon.
good at that.
I remember that.
Now, for me, I think one of the key things for us is around one of the, you know, you were using the words and you were talking about how sometimes when you go through things, your environment or situations, what it does, it creates fear,
Yeah.
right? And because you now tell yourself, oh, but this is now I'm going back. This is just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You were telling us earlier that people then rather choose to go back, which means they actually now have the fear of moving beyond the pain. They have the fear of moving beyond what they, you know, what they can actually go and achieve and intended purpose. What are some of your thoughts, maybe just around that, where people's fear causes them not to take that step of faith or that step of boldness, and especially when pain comes, then it's almost like no, it was not supposed to be for me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe just some. How do you deal with that as a person to push beyond even the fear that you might have at times? How do you push beyond the fear, beyond that, especially when you're going through hardships, especially when you're going through pain, because it means it's easier for you to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Marlon, one of the things that definitely helped me on this journey, you know, of pushing through the pain, is definitely making sure that you surround yourself with people that believes in you, you know, and people that want to see you change, and focusing on the Word of God. Marlon, I cannot stress this enough. There was a season in my life where I blamed God for what I was going through. Like, I questioned Him, like, what is happening? You know, why is this happening to me? I serve my community, you know, I honor my parents, I've been working hard. So why are you allowing me, you know, to go through this season of pain in my life? And again, I will say it again, the thing that really helped me get through the season of pain, or gets me through the season of pain, is being around people that just shows love, that shows you that you are good enough, that shows you that you are worthy, and again, the word of God, Marlon, has really carried me through this season of pain that I've been dealing
Sure.
with.
And I think that is such a encouragement for us. How do you make sure that you spend time, with God, spend time with the Word,
Yeah.
and making sure that you surround yourself with people that don't see you just when they look at you, they see possibilities, they
Yeah.
see potential, they
Yeah.
see that yes, I can see the pain, but they can see beyond the pain.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it's about. Because
Yeah.
and then the reason why I mentioned this thing about fear, because what fear does, if I'm scared of heights, then I will never fly
Yeah.
because of that fear. So your fear sets the boundaries of your possibilities.
Sure.
So if I'm scared, if I have a fear of one day having my own business because I have a fear of failure, then it means I'll never run my own business.
Yeah.
And for many people, it's when you go on this journey and you want to elevate, now all of a sudden your fear kicks in, your doubt,
Self-doubt.
your insecurities start coming in, and that becomes a very detrimental thing to someone, right?
Yeah.
And maybe just from your perspective, if there was one thing that you could encourage people to kind of push through that boundary of fear. You mentioned spend time with people, that's an encouragement. Spend time with the word, that is an encouragement. And really take time out to spend time with God.
Yeah.
And what would be one thing that you feel, if there was something that someone can do to push beyond that limitation of fear, what would one encouragement be for people listening?
Sure. Marlon, one of the encouragement for those that's listening and tuned in is to look beyond who you are and to start living for you, start living for the people around you, start living to want to change the community that you want to be a part of, and just be you as an individual, Marlon. I think one of the things when it comes to fear for me, it was always just being myself, being your true authentic self, in a world, where we see some people, don't know how to be themselves, and that is where fear also creeps in. So for my encouragement to whoever is listening out there, love. Don't just love for today. Love every day. To want to be the change for your people, for yourself, and for your community.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Suzanne.
No, thank you, Marlon.
I think that is really for us, I think, as a message, as we are elevating, push beyond the pain.
Yes, Marlon.
And all you have to be is be the authentic self.
I'm telling you.
I love
Thank
it.
you so much,
Suzanne,
Marlon.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Marlon.
And yeah, looking forward to the next Culture podcast. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, everyone.